What is happening, guys? My name is Jamie and today we are reviewing a Cradle of Filth concert which happened on the 6th of September 2019. I went to a Cradle of Filth concert earlier this month and you know what, it was just an amazing experience. And you know what, I'm going to tell you every single detail of the Cradle of Filth story. Just a fantastic night. After working 5 night shifts in a row, that morning I had to go back home, had to have a little sleep, but I couldn't sleep, could I? Because I was too damn excited. Because before the Cradle of Filth concert, I just explored the whole entire discography and I absolutely loved this band. I fell in love with this band, loved Dani Filth's vocals. Dani Filth's vocals are just absolutely magnificent. The amazing high notes you can get, incredible, mind-blowing, dynamic, raw in tone, but his vocals are one of a kind. So in the long run, I work 5 night shifts in a row, sleep for a bit, wake up really excited. Of course, the concert is in Melbourne. I am about an hour and a half away from Melbourne. I live in the country, so I had to hop in my car, drive down there. We were encountered by a massive storm. There was a huge cold front that swept past Melbourne, and there was hail, there was thunder driving on the freeway. It was absolutely chaotic. There were strong winds as well. Hail was bouncing on the windscreen. Of course, it's Melbourne. You get 4 seasons in one day here, so the sky cleared and then it was sunny. The traffic was really bad. There was a huge traffic jam. The trams were just jam-packed as well. Trying to get into the city was the hardest friggin' thing because there was just so much traffic. And of course, it was the footy finals as well. I think it was Geelong and Collingwood that were playing at the MCG that actual night. I slowly make it to the parking down in Russell Street. Now, the venue is actually in Russell Street. It's a dingy old place where Cradle of Filth was playing. It's also known as Billboards as well. If you're familiar with Melbourne, it's a huge night city. It's so vibrant, picturesque place as well. We do a lot of things at night. 170 Russell Street is where Cradle of Filth is playing. Of course, I was pretty hungry, wasn't I? Parked the car because I already booked parking a day before because I didn't want to get in that predicament where you got no car park. You travel all that way, you got no fucking car park and you don't know where to park your car. Since this Melbourne, it's packed full with every single nationality. Yeah, so I went to a burger house, had a burger. The burger was so big, it was so juicy as well. I was all ready to go for the Cradle of Filth concert. From then, lined up, waited for about an hour. It was really cold that night as well. I think it dropped around about 4 degrees that night. There was also some strong winds. There was a bit of rain. The venue is underground, so you walk down the stairs, you turn left, and you walk down another stairs. You got a stage, and you got another level towards the bar, and you got another bar on the left. Walk to the bar, of course, and get myself a beer. And the first act was none other than an Aussie band called Hybrid Nightmares. They were very impressive. They were on the borderline of death metal and black metal, but I really did enjoy their sound. Made myself way onto the floor, so I was right in front. So Hybrid Nightmares played around about 8 o'clock, 8:30, and they played for about an hour. And Cradle of Filth wasn't coming on until about 10 o'clock. After Hybrid Nightmares performed, to go check them out. So the engineers and everything had to set up the Cradle of Filth stage. So they set it up. Half an hour later, the show finally happens. I'm right in front as well. There was a bit of a mosh pit that was brewing. The actual set list, they were actually going to perform Cruelty and the Beast live. The whole entire album, which I already heard many times before the actual concert, which I absolutely loved that album. And I was really happy that they actually played the whole entire album live. But you know what? Once Upon Atrocity comes, build up towards 13 Autumns and a Widow. All the band members came out. You got Martin, who was on drums. He's an absolutely fantastic drummer. He's up in the back, shielded with this glass. It must intensify the sound. And then we had Daniel on bass, and then we had Lindsay also on keyboard and female vocalist. Richard Shaw comes out as well. He's a very interesting character. And we got Marek, who's also on guitars. Now, it looked like he was in a character of a Pinhead. They all had very different personalities, very different characters. And Dani Filth comes out with amazing costume, with amazing makeup. Dani looked badass in my opinion. 13 Autumns and a Widow comes along. Holy crap, I couldn't believe how good they sounded live. It was just absolutely fantastic. They're just fast drumming, just a wall of metal hitting right in your face. Dani's Filth's vocals, I just couldn't believe it was him. I just honestly couldn't believe it was him because his range is just incredible and he nailed those high notes. Cruelty brought the Orchards, amazing song as well. They performed it so well. They're one of my favorite songs off the album Beneath the Howling Stars. Amazing song, especially when Dani says Beneath the Howling Star. Fantastic. The range this man can get is incredible. But I'm also loving the band's characters. You got Richard acting like a mental disabled person, and the way he was playing with his plectrums, like putting it on his forehead and then spitting it out at the crowd. The stage presence was fantastic. And also Marek's stage control with his guitar as well as he's leaning forwards. The drums on the other hand, this man can drum. It's something that you didn't really hear on Cruelty and the Beast, where the drum mix was a little bit off in that album, but in this, you could really hear those drums. Get a nice interlude, Venus in Fear, and just a really big build up to Desire and Violent Overture. And then we had the Twisted Nails of Faith, which was an amazing song as well. Bathory Aria, absolutely amazing 10 to 11 minute song. And to see that live, wow. And to end Cruelty and the Beast was Lust, Maud and Wargasms, The Lick of Carnivorous Winds. Wow, an amazing way to just conclude the album live. Just one slight negative is that Cradle of Filth were interacting with the crowd, but Dani Filth wasn't saying much. He wasn't saying much to the crowd. To me, I think he was slightly pissed off. He was slightly pissed off with the crowd, Melbourne crowd. I believe that maybe we weren't making too much noise. I believe that Cradle of Filth want to hear the crowd express a lot of emotion, express a lot of happiness, and express loudness. I've been to this venue many times and it seemed like the Cradle of Filth crowd were slightly tamed. I don't know, it might have been the security, but I think Dani wanted the crowd to really lift up. And I don't think we got that. You could hear Dani say, come on, lift, come on. He was getting really frustrated. We had the encore. I thought the concert ended after Cruelty and the Beast, but we had the encore, which was a nice surprise. We had from the album Dusk and Embrace, Malice Through the Looking Glass. That was an amazing song, and the lighting as well. It was choreographed so well. Then we had Heartbreak and Seance from Cryptoriana, The Seductiveness of Decay. Amazing song as well. I've heard all the albums now, so I know all these songs. But what was absolutely amazing in my opinion was Nymphetamine Fix. Just the way Lindsay was also singing in that. Lindsay was also singing with Dani. It seemed a lot heavier than the actual studio version. A lot heavier. And to witness that live was just amazing. Saffron's Curse came along. Wow, absolutely incredible song from Midian. That's one of my favorite songs of Cradle of Filth. Then to conclude the set list, it was Her Ghost in the Fog. I was actually a bit surprised that was the ending to the concert. I was actually really surprised they were gonna end this on that. I didn't know that was a song that would conclude the Cradle of Filth concert. But overall, it was a very enjoyable concert. I absolutely loved it. I just feel that Dani Filth was a little bit frustrated with the crowd. But what is really interesting is that Dani is in the character. He's in that character. So he also talks to the crowd like he's dead, like he's a vampire or something like that. We all know the way he actually talks in real life. He doesn't talk like that on stage. So that was really surprising. But I loved it. I absolutely loved it. We all posed for a photo as well at the end. And it was just a fantastic experience to experience a Cradle of Filth concert. Apart from Cradle of Filth not interacting with the crowd much, I'd probably give this concert a solid 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. There were some mosh pits around. It's really hard for people to be in such a small venue like 170 Russell Street and mosh. I mean, you can still mosh, but I find it very dangerous moshing in that. I have moshed a few times in that venue. I just like to go in the front and just experience a concert without without any pushing and shoving. And Lindsay, on the other hand, you could really hear Lindsay throughout Cruelty and the Beast. The way she was also in the perspective of Elizabeth Bathory, that was cool. But yeah, you could really hear her operatic vocals throughout songs like Beneath the Howling Stars, The Twisted Nails, and also Bathory Aria. So she was a lot of her vocals throughout Cruelty and the Beast and throughout a few other songs as well. That was absolutely an amazing concert. I absolutely loved it. I doubt anyone will be watching till the end, but you know what? Who cares? If Cradle of Filth ever come to your area, go and see them. Go and see them. They're one of the best bands live I've seen. Even though it was a smaller venue, I was really surprised, because we were absolutely jam-packed. It was jammed-packed. So there was over 1,000 people in such a small venue. Guys, comment below what you thought about this concert review. So keep the discussion going in the comments section below. And comment below what's your favorite concert you've ever been to. And I will see you in the next